Hey,
yo, I realized we're that close to going live. I'm still feeding my face, and she got me mid-bite just then.
I waited till he put a big bite, because he usually takes dainty bites.
She booby-trapped me.
Uh-huh.
But hey, yo, welcome to the wonderful world of Hungry Heat. I am not a classically trained chef. What I am is a self-taught home cook. I studied under several television chefs. I have a PhD from YouTube University and a black belt in Google Food. I love to cook. One thing I love more than cooking is my wife, the sensational Shelly Eat Steak, aka the Warden. Together we host what I call the Friday Night Feast. And that's time it's every Friday night, 6:30 Central. We go live. I'm not a classically trained chef.
I'm sorry.
Cook up an entree, show y'all how we do it, and then we spend the rest of the evening just chewing the fat with all of our friends in the Hungry Horde. Hope y'all can tune in sometime. We'd love to have you over for dinner. This live stream right now is my MS journey for week number 215.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's going. I have no real setbacks this week, but no real advances either, I guess. It's just same old, same old.
Well,
I'm feeling good.
okay.
And I'm getting, honestly, if you saw the little promo or the trailer at the very beginning, the little thumbnail for it, I'm getting really excited. It says today is 23 days until our meetup.
Yeah.
I don't know who all's in here yet, but I tuned into Dustin's this morning. He's already coaching us up, or not coaching, but churching us up, telling everybody he's going to be there. So I'm excited about that because I've never met him in person. So that'll be good.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I feel like there's several people we have never met in person, like my lady Laugh-A-Lot.
Yes.
22Q Cat.
Right.
And we're going to get to finally meet you in person. Evelyn, yes. There's so many, and I'm so excited about that more than anything. So let's talk about MS as far as traveling. Do you have any, do you foresee, do you feel like since you have MS, because we've done road trips the whole time we've been married, but now that you have MS, do you feel like that changes anything about a road trip?
Yes.
Okay.
And it makes it a little more frustrating for the wife because she's like an old school truck driver. She's got, I've got an agenda. I got to get there in a certain time. Whenever she pulls up her GPS and it tells us it's going to take her X number of hours, or an X amount of time and an X number of the mileage or whatever, to her it's a challenge. She has to beat that time.
So if it says,
so when I tell her I got to stop and use the bathroom, she gets a little perturbed.
Anybody else like me, where if you see that it says, okay, to your next stop, it's going to be an hour and 33 minutes. You're like, ooh, let's try to make it an hour and 30. And I try, but I do feel like on the road trip itinerary so far, I've been putting stops in about every hour and a half.
It's going to be a little more easy for me too. Because when we charted everything out, she found several Love's gas stations. There are also truck stops, but they also have a big area for we can let because we're bringing the dogs with us, so we can let them out. So what we can do is actually pull up, let me go to the bathroom first, and pull on and start letting the dogs out and let them potty at the same time. We have a little system going because also though.
Well, can I correct that system?
Sure.
Because I was going to let you go, and then we both go to let the dogs out. No. Okay.
But we've ran into a problem once before. I used to drink Zip Fizz all the time.
And this before you had MS.
Right. But I found out there's some ingredient they have in their stuff that just makes me have to go all the time. So she banned me from drinking it, especially whenever we're on a road trip. Not allowed.
Well, because I feel like an hour and a half is a good stopping point.
Let me know when you're done because you stole my phone.
Whereas, and so when you're doing the Zip Fizz, it was like every 30 minutes we were having to stop, and that just seemed excessive.
Yeah, because I call it my keto Kool-Aid, but I was treating it. And I think it says on the package you should drink maybe 2 a day. I was thinking 4 or 5, whatever I can fit down. I have a tendency to go a little overboard. I don't know if y'all have ever noticed that before.
So tell everybody what you're eating today to help with your MS.
Well, earlier this week, I smoked, I think it was about a 15-pound brisket. It was really crazy, too, because it was a huge test on that, too, because the last time we lost power and had to go stay out of town, for quite a few days, we left that here. It thawed, but it was still partially frozen when we got back. So when the power came back on, I just left it in the freezer. And I was like, well, we'll just test it when I get around to cooking it. We'll just check it. Because my rule on food like that is when in doubt, throw it out. But it looked good. It didn't change colors or nothing. When we opened it up and she trimmed it, it didn't smell. So I went ahead and seasoned it and smoked it and did my overnight brisket on it. And it turned out fabulous.
Yeah. And I really smelled the fat part because I feel like if meat's bad, you can really smell the fat.
And you can see it too, I feel like.
Well, yeah. And I really did. And it didn't feel like sometimes I've opened meat that's gone bad and, it'll have like slimy on it. This wasn't slimy at all. And I really smelled it. I have a lot better nose detector than my partner here. Mm-hmm. And so I smelled it really well because I was like, oh, I'm very hesitant. But it worked out. And so you've got, you have a video you're going to release.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to.
Okay, go ahead.
So I took that brisket and trimmed it and cut it up and used it for several different recipes. And what I'm eating right now is a stromboli. We made our keto fathead dough, made strombolis with it, and I put the brisket inside of it along with a few vegetables. And then I also made a pizza on one of them. Then what else do we have? I made a frittata. That's what I'm going to be eating for my lunch the next couple of days. And then what else did we make with it? But I have the video coming out for all of it. I actually I took that one brisket and made 6 different recipes with it. Mm-hmm. It was a huge meal prep.
And if you watch the Warren Report this week, I made my own because I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just not good with a lot of leftovers. So I did the classic stromboli with deli cut meat. So if you want to see how to do that, watch the Warden Report because I filmed it for the Warden Report so you can see my version of a stromboli. Mm-hmm. He likes to do his, I feel like, honestly, you are a lot more adventurous as far as trying, not just I will try food, but I feel like you come up with, you're like, oh my gosh, I love brisket. How many ways can I make a brisket? Where I'm just like, well.
She's like old school. She's like
for me, a pizza is a pepperoni and cheese pizza. That's it. Sometimes I'll add mushrooms or jalapenos, but generally just pepperoni. I like the classic. And he'll be like, no, I'm going to put barbecue and queso, or I should say barbecue brisket and queso and lamb meat and pork rinds on it. I'm just saying you'll come up with some crazy stuff, and I'm like,
that does sound crazy. I don't do that.
Sometimes, y'all, I'm like, well, that's quite a mixture.
For the pizza, all I did was chop the brisket, threw that on there with some Colby Jack cheese, some Parmesan, and then some sliced up some serranos and jalapenos. And then some onions, and that's it. And a little bit of the pizza sauce, the same sauce we're using right now for the dip.
Yeah, I know.
That doesn't sound that outlandish to me.
But I'm not saying that's outlandish. But I'm like, to me, pizza is a certain thing, and you're just like, nah, I'm gonna take this and make it the certain thing. So anyhow, so any other, so we, you have a few followers that have MS. Mm-hmm. So you said it has changed doing a road trip.
Oh, yeah. I have to go urinate a little bit more. And here recently, last few months, I've noticed, I've been talking about it. Because what I have is called relapsing MS. I've had a couple of relapses where it's starting to hurt my mobility, where I can't walk as well as I used to. So I honestly, I am kind of worried about that because I'm having to use my cane again. I've never walked the dogs while holding a cane. And usually I have to walk them out into the yard. I can't stay on the sidewalk on the street or whatever. So I'm kind of concerned about that.
I have to say, though, when we have been at hotels, generally you, even before you had your cane, you would stay, like when we went down last year to Rockport or Rances Pass, you didn't get all in the grass. You would stay on the walkway, and then Delilah would get in the grass. And I feel like that'll be
hopefully
mostly the same thing.
But sometimes they'll smell something that she wants to go way over there or something.
Well, that's why we got gentle leaders for both the dogs, so that should prevent them from pulling.
Fingers crossed.
Well, I mean, it has. When I put it on them, they just don't like it.
Right.
But they'll get used to it. And then anything else that you feel like has changed since you have MS, or do you have any tips for anybody else when they road trip?
Just my biggest thing is plan accordingly.
Okay.
And because we love to travel, so we actually have duplicates of several things we carry with us already packed in the luggage. So make sure we always keep them on hand. So I am making sure the same thing with my pills, my medicine. I'm making sure I can bring extras of those too, just to make sure.
Yeah. And that's a good tip.
Reach up there, show. Grab my pill bottles, my containers. So this is my AM. I take these every morning right after I eat. These are my evening pills. What I plan to do is I'm going to take these and put them in a Ziploc bag and throw them in my backpack. That way, if they open up, at least they'll be in the baggie.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, y'all, food is very important to me. I mean, that's why we cook almost everything we do in this channel. It's a cooking channel, But you know how I've always eaten my hard-boiled eggs? Well, she has a great idea. She figured it out for us a long time ago when we were doing these road trips. We are IHG members, so we get preferred bookings and whatnot with them. We get perks and whatnot, but we almost exclusively pick hotels that have breakfast included. And everyone we've ever stayed at has always had the hard-boiled eggs. So that's always been a help for me too, so that I don't have to pack those taken with me. Yeah,
especially like the Holiday Inn Express. They always have the hard-boiled eggs in the little refrigerator. And then the Staybridge we're staying at also has breakfast every morning. So that helps. But I think that helps in general when you travel, if you could get that included. But that's what we basically go to, because a lot of this stuff at breakfast is usually junk. Most of them will have hard-boiled eggs. And so that, is 100% clean. You just grab the eggs, and that's a perfect breakfast.
And almost always they have breakfast sausages, like little patties.
Yeah.
Those are usually, the ingredients are kind of suspect, but I figure every once in a while it's not going to be that big a deal. There's almost every morning for breakfast, I eat my eggs, my sausage, and some cheese. Well, they almost every single time I've ever seen it, they have little pre-packages of the Philadelphia cream cheese.
Yeah.
Which is always clean too, and healthy. And if worst case, I can always bring a cooler. I can bring some with us too. We'll take another cooler.
Yeah.
Because there is one, I think we're staying at, that does not have breakfast included. So I plan on bringing a to-go container with us to take them with us. And then I have noticed it is very important for me. I can't do extended fasts. If I don't eat regularly, it really affects me. So I've shown it in the past, but I'm going to show it again later in a future video, because we're going to do a packing, we're packing for the road trip. I'm going to video coming out soon. Sorry, I'm all over the place. But I have a little attachment, or a little machine called a Hot Logic that plugs into the cigarette lighter. And I can heat up stuff on the road as we're running on the road if I need to.
Right. And then what's another thing you're going to pack just in case?
Oh, yeah. I have several of these glass bottles, so I can bring my Relight with me, because I drink a Relight at least one every single day. That's what I'm drinking right now too.
So having a resealable bottle like that is real handy.
Yes.
To just carry those, and then we usually carry bottled waters, and then that way you're just making on the road. So if he starts to feel a little off, then he can make an electrolyte drink and have those with him.
The deal from Keto Chow, the electrolyte, the little drops.
Drops.
I bring those. I even have what I call the little bear, the little berry or whatever. The little mountain, the mini ones.
Yeah, they're just the mini electrolytes, not the daily minerals.
Right. That way I can put it in my drinks as needed too.
Yeah.
I'm from Wells.
And then you're going to, I know we already bought some jerky from a local person, but also, were you going to make more jerky?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Well, because my thing is too, I don't want to bring that much food with us. Because main thing what we're doing on this trip on the way there, we're meeting up several people to go eat. When we meet up with them, we're going to go eat.
Right.
We're getting free breakfast at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't he bring extra food for?
Because that seems
that's usually the norm, but I've just been thinking about it. There's one to be more cost effective that way, and it'll be less to have to pack and keep up with and carry back home when I don't eat it all. Because if I eat right during the meals and everything, I don't need to be snacking.
Oh,
we already had the snacks. We'll just bring those.
Wow,
we'll be done.
Wow, breakthrough. Okay. Well, that's really good. And then, do you feel like you need to pack anything differently than you normally would because of your MS? Other than making sure you have not only the amount of medication you need for the trip, but having a few days extra.
Yeah, just in case.
Is there anything else?
Just bringing my cane. It's about it. It's the only thing I can think of, really.
Okay. Well, does anybody else have any questions or suggestions? And then I'll read some comments here. I see that the first comment didn't show up, but Sharon, she said, I'm here. And she was firstest. And then 22Q Cat is here. And she goes, hi, Shelly, Heath, and everyone. 23 days. Oh, my. Finally. Here, wait. I'm trying to do it like George Takai. Oh, my. Here, you do it better, I think.
Oh, my. Is that it?
That's pretty close. I'll take it.
We were watching some show the other night. I'm like playing on my phone.
Some show. It was X-Files.
But I know it's in the back. I mean, in the background, I heard a character talking. I didn't see his face. I was like, "Is that George Takai? It sounds just like him."
I was like, "No."
I don't remember who it was, but yeah,
some other actor.
He has a very what do you call it? Memorable voice,
right? Rickwood's here. She goes, hello, Horde. How are you doing, Joe?
Howdy.
Sharon said, pack clothes for cold weather. I wouldn't think it's going to be warm ever again in Ohio. Well, I mean, we'll pack, I guess, what we consider warm. I mean, I don't know. We've been to Alaska, and we loved it when it's cold.
The only jacket I own.
Oh, is that fleece?
Was that big giant one.
Oh, yeah.
Swallowed both of us.
Yeah, right.
So I have 2 flannels. I guess I can pack both of them just in case.
Yeah.
And jeans and
my work sister, it was so funny. I thought to me, she sent me today. She just sent me the weather for the day, and it said it was 27 degrees where she was at in Missouri. And then I screenshotted what the weather was here, and mine was 72. And I thought that was funny how it was just like the inverse.
Right.
She's 27, I'm 72.
Right.
And looking at her weather, and I'm all like jealous. I'm like, oh, that looks so nice and cool. But we've been in the 80s this past week. So, Sharon, if you want some more weather, we could definitely switch places because I would love that. I would love to be right there where it's nice and chilly, and you could be here where it's 84 degrees in February.
Right.
And you'd probably love it. You'd be out there tending to your garden and everything and be like, oh, this weather's amazing. Whereas I'm like, oh, this is the worst ever. Why does everybody else get to be cold? Let's see. Sharon said, I'll be outside by then. Oh, by May. I bet you will. 20Q Cat said, laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm just hoping it's not snowing while Shelly and Heath are here in Indy. I agree. That's the only thing that stops me is snow, because I have driven through snow, but it's not my choice.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it isn't, because then I feel like I'm going to have to leave a lot earlier and be on the road longer to try to travel through.
Maybe it's just me showing my being how naive I am, but I was just imagining or assuming being in March it would be already warm because it's here, so I figured it would be there too. That's silly. Usually
by February we're like, it's like our spring per se.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I know March up there is kind of, you just never know. It's either going to be warm or it's going to be cold. Rickwood said, today the inside of my house is cooler than outside. I don't have the furnace running, and it's in the 60s inside. Ooh. Yeah, we've had to turn on the AC this week, y'all. Isn't that just crazy?
Turn the fan on again.
Yeah, we had to turn all our fans on again, turn the AC on, and it just,
Well, we leave the one on all the time now in Shonda's room.
Yeah,
because to help the air moving.
To keep the air flowing when we have it on. Sharon said, we're expecting 2 to 4 inches of snow Tuesday. Oh, that's no fun.
You tell your weather, get your stuff together, so when we come back, it'll behave.
Yeah, 20TQ Cat said, we've had freezy temps in May. You just never know.
Hey, you want some more of this before I eat it all?
Well, I know. I thought.
Well, come on. Tell them what we're eating.
Well, you tell them so I can get a bite.
There's some kind of quesos you found marked down at HEB. I don't remember what all was in it. I took a picture of it for my meals, but I don't remember. And
I got
my phone, so I can't look at it.
I got it on the Warren Report, but it's chorizo queso.
Oh, nice. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was debating too if we should or not bring some pork rinds with us on the trip.
Yeah, might as well. Because like the first stop, we're getting burgers, so you might want to have pork rinds with your burger.
Because I am going to bring an empty, or I say empty, an extra tote with us for incidentals and stuff we just don't need to pack, but we need to get access to quickly. We just pop the lid and grab it. So I feel like the chips would go in there. The chips, pork rinds.
The pork rinds. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow. Rickwin said she's going to get 6 to 8 inches of rain. We'll have to get my ark out. I'm saying better stop building it now.
Wow.
Sharon said the weekend of 22 to the 23rd is forecast 34 and 47. Wow. Ooh, Ohio whack. That sounds lovely to me. Rickwood said, practice with the dogs on leashes and your cane heath in the backyard before you travel. Then you know what you can do.
But see, Joe, I think you're missing though. That makes sense. Why would I do that?
Well, that's true.
I mean, you know me. We spent time together.
But that would also be good to get the dogs more used to the gentle leader. And then they'll be like, okay, yeah, we're always in the backyard. Can we go somewhere else now?
Because also, I'm even afraid to say it, but when we grab the leashes, they know that means we're fixing to go, so they come running and get all excited.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe if we actually get them used to the leader, then they'll associate that too, being not so reluctant to put it on. They'll be more excited about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that'll be it. But what we have to do, because they get so excited, they're literally on top of each other. Mm-hmm. We have to, before we go and get the leash, then he usually goes outside with Delilah. And then I have to get it on Sam. And then I give the leader to Heath. And then he could get the leash and leader on Delilah while he's out there.
Because Delilah was the first. She's the firstborn. So she gets very, very, very jealous if sees she'll be sleeping on the couch. And I'll reach over and start petting him. Her spidey sense goes off, and she jumps up and goes, no, you got to pet me, too. If you don't pet anybody, you got to pet me. Mm-hmm. She'll push him out of the way so I can pet her instead.
Yeah. And she's been getting very forceful lately. Yeah. Like, he'll be snuggled in his corner on the couch with his head on my lap. That's like his heaven place. And she will get on the couch, and she will actually start pushing in so his butt's in his favorite corner, and she'll start wedging herself into there, even as far as like stepping over him to like push him. And I'll like look at her, and she kind of gives me the side eye, like, you're not seeing what I'm doing. And then of course he gets annoyed because she's like literally like pushing him, so he'll jump up and get off the couch. And then she gets the corner spot, and then he's all like, well, I can't get on the couch now at all. It's like a huge deal every day.
It's like sibling rivalry is what it is.
I know. I'm like, oh my goodness. These two, you guys, they're a piece of work.
And y'all see, while we're child free, we have our hands full with the dogs.
I know. Like, if I can't handle the dogs, could you imagine? My lady laugh a lot. Hey,
I'm so
said hi,
excited
guys.
to meet you in person.
I know. She said watching at 2 times till I catch up. Boop, boop. Yeah, Rickwood said
And
at
I am
Chipmunk.
so sorry. Yesterday, you started doing your live Saturday morning, which is fantastic. But I'm sorry I can't stick around for the whole thing because I have to go to work. But I tune in, tell you hi, tell you good morning and everything. But I'll leave it running while I'm gone, so you're still getting your views. You get your what do you call it? What's the term? Watch hours.
Watch hours, yeah. Which is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then usually I'm asleep. Like, I don't know. Like today he came in and I was still asleep and he came back there and I was like, "Oh, you've been up?" I said, "Did you watch Dustin?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, I don't know how do you get up so early? And I just sleep through everything.
Because it actually hurts me to stay in bed too long. My feet and my legs start bothering me. Only way I feel better is like I put my shoes and socks on. On the couch and pass out.
I know.
Because like with my like we even talked about it, I really feel like I'm wondering if we should do it before the trip.
Yeah.
Get some compression socks and start wearing them.
I think that would help.
It just might feel weird wearing them to sleep though.
Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to wear them to sleep in. I don't know. What do y'all think? I don't know if it's good to wear them 24/7 kind of deal.
All right.
But I think it would help you. I know my late stepfather, he really he would be like, "Okay, I need to put these on because it helped him so much." But he had gout all the time.
But I'm wondering too, though, if I should get multiple pair.
Well, yeah.
So I don't want wearing the same one all day, every day, kind of thing. That'd be gross.
Right. Yeah, we would definitely get multiple pairs. 22Q Cat said that Hot Logic is a pretty cool thing for heating things up in the car. Nice.
Well, see, when I figured it out was when I was still working construction. So my job back then, I had to go all day long. I was driving job to job, job site to job site, basically house to house. It was all new construction. Because I would go in, I'd measure the houses when they first got built. Then I'd go back and inspect the cabinets once they were put in. And then I'd go back and do any kind of maintenance or whatever it needed for the homeowner. So it was just cheaper than me going out to eat all day, every day. If I just ate, took my lunch. And in the middle of winter, I don't want cold sandwich or something like that. So the first thing I ever bought, I have a miniature crock pot. And that worked out really well, too. It plugs into a regular wall outlet, but I bought an adapter that plugs into the cigarette lighter thing, and then I plug in the back. I had a whole system. But then I found that Hot Logic, too, and it was awesome because a container about this size fit in there perfect. And I still use it here at the house. Yeah,
because you know how some things, when you microwave them, they're just not as good. So it's perfect for him because it is such a low heat. He could put his lunch in there in the morning, and then by lunchtime, it's like perfectly been cooked without having to zap it in the microwave.
Sometimes I'll even do it at night before I go to bed, put it in there, and then in the morning when I wake up for my breakfast, it's ready.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because it doesn't, what do you call it? The heat level doesn't increase and decrease, so it stays one constant the whole time.
Yeah.
It's very handy. And the whole thing is, it's a heating pad in the very bottom, but then it's wrapped in like a cellophane, not cellophane, what's, I don't know, it's a, what's the thing, the word I'm looking for? It's wrapped around it. It's
insulated?
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you. So it keeps the heat constant all the time.
It does.
And we've used it several times on the trip too, because a lot of times when you buy, 90% of the time at least, when you buy like sausages, they're already pre-cooked.
Yeah.
So all you got to do really is heat them up. We've done that on the road trips, several previous road trips.
Oh yeah.
Spoon?
No.
Where we just throw them in there in the beginning of the day or whatever, in anticipation of having them later for lunch or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it works perfect.
Yeah. And then
that's why I was saying the spoon, because you just kill it.
No, I'm not. I was getting down.
No, it's just sometimes some of these pork rinds, they're not what I call load bearing. So they just fall apart and break on you.
So 22 Cat wanted to know what you're having for lunch.
Oh, what I just had was that those strombolis that I
the made. Barbecue stromboli, right?
Yeah.
And
then the dip she found. What do you call it? Chorizo queso. Yeah. with some pork rinds.
So I got this yesterday because at HEB, they do these. HEB has a line they call Meal Simple. So it's basically already packaged for you. You just have to cook it. And they'll run specials. So because there's something big happening today, I don't know. So they were having all kinds of their starters or appetizers, buy two, save $3. And their appetizers, a lot of them are by, so much per pound. So it's already packaged, and I found the cheapest one. It was $7 for this. But then I get like $1.50 off. And then the other one I got was a jalapeno popper dip.
That was good too.
That was really good too. Can you make it a lot cheaper? Yes.
But sometimes the convenience is handy too.
Right. And so far I've been impressed. And then they have a whole low carb lifestyle section of their Meal Simple, which is really nice. They've really expanded. So they have breakfast options, snack options, starters, appetizers, and then they have their classic ones, and then they have a whole low carb section. And in their low carb, they have Asian inspired, Italian inspired, and then I think American classic or something, which could be like a steak with Brussels or something. You get anything from steak, ribeyes, New York strips, sometimes fillets. Sometimes they'll do the flank steak where it's rolled up like a pinwheel with stuff in it.
We've gotten them before too. They do it that way, but with the salmon.
Yeah, they'll have salmon on there too. Some of them will have chicken, of course. And then
some of the bigger ones too is pretty nice. They'll have a whole cooking section set up.
Oh yeah.
They'll have they'll have a thing set up around them too. Whatever they're using at the time to cook the meal. And they'll be running specials on those. So it's like, come on to get you to buy all this stuff. But it's real quick and easy to grab a snack while you're shopping too.
I know, especially when they cook up something like, I think the last time they were just doing like fajita, beef fajita. And I was like, yes, I'll take that. And I was like, just don't give me the tortilla. Just give me the meat.
Right.
And I can eat that. Sometimes they look at me funny. They're like, and they've been doing a lot more of like guacamole or salsa. And I'm like, oh, I don't want the chip. Like they see me and all of a sudden they start putting a whole bunch of chips. I'm like, oh, I don't want the chip. Just put the guacamole. And they're like, oh, I don't have spoons. I'm like, well, I have a tug. So just a little cup. I'm not too shy. But it was really good. And the stromboli I made. Yes, I did more of a classic stromboli, which is basically kind of like an Italian baked sub, but I did mine with Italian meats. So tune into the Warden Report and I show you step by step how I made my Italian one using, again, that biscuit ham. I used the rest of that and also some other deli-like meats that I got on sale. So I took it when I saw some meats on sale. I was like, well, the universe is telling me I need to make this. Rickwood said, if you don't take as much food as you usually do when you travel, always remember.
I forgot.
Always remember you can stop at a grocery store and get rotisserie chicken, pork rinds, and other keto type foods.
That's true.
Exactly. And we're going to be in Columbus several days, and I know we're going to Grandpa's Big Barn of Cheese.
So I was going to say, we need to take with us that would be good for snack though. Some of those prepackaged or the individually ones, the string cheese.
Oh yeah, those are really good.
We usually take those with us.
22Q cat. This isn't Kansas, Toto. Laugh aloud. Just a reminder, you won't be in Texas when you travel up north here.
Right.
That's true. We won't. 22Q cat said, well, Delilah is queen.
Right.
She is. And she make sure Sam knows his place. Poor thing. He gets he's bigger than her, but he is so scared of her.
He's not scared. He's respectful.
No, he's scared at times. Like in our bedroom, on my side of the bed, I have both of the dogs' beds because they're going to sleep on my side anyways.
They're her dogs, honestly.
Because if he gets
up, tolerate me.
Oh, they love you. If he gets up in the middle of the night, though, he has enough obstacles. He doesn't need the dogs. Whereas if I get up, I'm at least aware enough to tippy-toe around the dogs. And so they each have their own beds. And right, Delilah's is first, and then Sam. Well, sometimes Sam will get up from his bed and he'll walk past, but then he's scared to go back to his bed because he has to walk in front of Delilah.
We have to walk past her to get out too, though.
I know, but and so sometimes I have to get up. Yeah, one of us has to escort him back to his bed.
It's hilarious.
He's so cute, though. My lady Laugh a Lot said, "It's okay, Heath. Thank you so much. That's so sweet." Well, of course. 22 Cap said, "Nope, I couldn't sleep in socks if my life depended on it."
That's what I'm afraid of too.
Yeah, I don't. I generally like, yesterday I had the massage, and he was talking about, my feet probably needs a little bit of work, and he was like, wear like put lotion on and put your sock on and then your shoe, and that'll help. And I was like, okay, here's the thing. I hate wearing shoes, like, period. I don't like to wear shoes. So my compromise is I wear flip-flops most of the time. And so I know that's not the best for you. That's not the best for all kinds of reasons. So generally I go barefoot around the house. And he was like, yeah. He said, well, I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their life. He's like, but yeah, being barefoot most of the time is not the best thing for you. And I was like,
I've been telling you that for 12 years.
But I don't like, but am I wearing shoes right now?
No.
So the idea, my feet get just too hot. And I think that's my problem is I hate my feet being hot and sticky. It just grosses me out. So, and like I felt for him yesterday, y'all know my aversion to feet. And he was really working my feet, which felt amazing. But then at the same time, I'm like, how could he do that? Like, I could not be a physical therapist or a massage therapist because I would be like, I can't touch your feet.
Well, that should remind me of something else we have pack and take with us. If we are taking the pork rinds to go if we go to the restaurants, we get some of those bags that Coda made us. Carry in and out with that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
And then we can show off his stuff. If we need to get from him, though, honestly, like some business cards, or at least have his stuff written down so we can tell folks if they want to order them too.
Well, of course.
We got to pimp stuff.
But yeah, so socks on my feet. I don't know if I could do that.
I don't like wearing my shoes without socks.
Right. Yeah. If I'm wearing like sneakers, it feels weird not to wear socks with sneakers. I'm very particular. Rickwood said, Super Bowl, Shelly. Huh? A Super Bowl? What is that a brand?
A bowl of what?
Everyone is stocking up on snacks for the game. Right. I know. I mean, how could I not know? Because everybody, the Super Bowl. And I was like, I wouldn't even know. And in fact, yesterday, Lakin was messaging me about something. And I was like, and she goes, she forgot this was Super Bowl weekend. I said, yeah, isn't it today? She's like, no, Shelly, it's on Sunday. I'm like,
it's always on Sunday.
As much as everybody talks about it, I thought it was on Saturday because they were just going crazy.
Well, that's what I was surprised. Honestly, I forgot.
Bye, Sharon.
I forgot today was Super Bowl. And I was scrolling Facebook and I saw an ad or an announcement because y'all know how much we love Gringos. So of course, I follow them on Facebook too. But they're closing today at 4:00 for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, several places are. They're like, we're closing for our employees. I'm like, on Super Bowl?
Yeah. I figured you'd have the game on, but whatever.
Right?
Because they do have TVs, but all the TVs are over by the bar, so.
Well, right.
There's only limited seating there.
That's just so weird. Yeah. Like,
I don't
know. I guess to me, I'm thinking there's a lot of other actual holidays I feel like are more important to let employees off for than Super Bowl.
But seriously though, some people's the Super Bowl parties a little more extravagant and more look forward to than some of the holiday parties they go to.
Wow. Well, that's what my other coworker, she was saying, her and her husband are both homebodies, kind of like us. But her grandmother, this is weird to me to hear a coworker say, I'm going to my grandmother's party, because to me, like, all of my grandparents are gone.
Right.
And my mom's not too far behind, and so to hear somebody say my grandmother, I'm like, what is she, like 90? And no.
You're doing a seance?
I know. But she's like, no, my grandma's putting on this real big. She's all excited about it. So we have to go. She's like, I don't even follow football, but I guess I'll be, cheering on the Chiefs or something. I don't know. Chiefs and Eagles, isn't it?
I don't know. The Eagle Chiefs? I don't know.
I don't know. And I only know a little bit more because apparently, so y'all that are in Columbus, what's the team up there? But my manager, he likes some kind of, or my manager, my department head, VP or whatever his title is now, he has some kind of, I forget whatever team he likes. And one of the coworkers this Wednesday meeting, she was like, "Go Chiefs," because he doesn't like the Chiefs. Rival. I guess. I have no idea. And I was just like, he went, "Oh, very funny." He wasn't that happy. He goes, "My team will make it next year." Right. They're going to. I was like, that's the only reason I know that part.
Yeah, I have no idea who's playing.
Right. Well, do you, is anybody here? Are you looking forward to the game? Maybe that's why some people aren't here. Right. They're already getting ready. I don't even know what time the game is on. Do y'all?
I think it starts like it usually. If I remember correctly, it's always around 6 o'clock, but it's like 6:05 or something silly like that.
Oh, really?
It's never like on the hour. It's always like or 6:15 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's always weird.
And then I was watching something and they were saying, like the commercials start at like $7 million.
Yeah, because a lot of people, that's what's so funny to me too. Almost everybody I know has a DVR and they record all their shows so they can go, so they don't have to sit the commercials. But this time of year today, they look forward to watching a commercial. That just was backwards to me.
Yeah, it does seem.
And then a lot of people go to the parties just to watch this stuff and talk about that and see the halftime show. They're more excited about the halftime show than the game itself.
Which I've seen a lot of talking about the halftime show on Facebook. It's like Kendrick Lamar, and I have no idea who that is.
Oh, I'm so out of touch.
I know. I feel so bad because I watched like a reel and they're talking about some type of celebrity. And I'm like, I have no idea who they are. I feel so old. Right. And then I read the comments, and then there's other people are like, who are these? Who is it? Who is this? Bad? Well, until I see none of the people asking are like young people. Right. And then I'm like, oh. Right. But there's so many you just don't know. And they'll be like, oh, they're like they started on YouTube or something, and now they have a singing career now. And I'm like, oh, okay. Right. No idea. 22 Cat said 2 things I can never do as an occupation: podiatrist or dentist.
Right.
Yuck. Right. Oh, a podiatrist. Could you imagine a podiatrist? Because you're not just seeing regular feet. Most of the time you're seeing like really sick, funky feet. And that would be like, no, day one, I'd be like, you know what? I'm changing to I don't know, what's another doctor?
I don't know either.
I would say ear, nose, and throat, but then that kind of gets yucky too, right?
Well, I think anything, honestly, in my opinion, anything in the health profession is kind of yucky.
Yeah, that's true, because people aren't, like in public, most people are a little reserved, but I have found, just because like when I took care of my grandma and stuff, they will tell everything to doctors and nurses. They'll be like, so this, and they'll describe something just so graphic and disgusting. And I'm like, right. You didn't tell me about this. Well, I was waiting until I could tell the doctor. And I'm like,
all right.
But anyways, well, I see, I think because it is Super Bowl, not as many people on here, and we've already been on for 45 minutes. So
nothing really. Sorry.
Do you have any last thoughts or anything else you want to talk about as far as like the road trip coming up? Or
I'm trying to think. Anybody else have any ideas? Or if you haven't signed up yet to meet up with us, let us know. We love the main reason why we're doing it, honestly, is to meet up with all of y'all.
I know.
It really is.
And I found out because I was talking to my coworkers who live outside of Springfield, Missouri. I was telling them because they were like, yeah, when are you going to be here and where are you staying? And I told them and they were like, ooh, you don't want to be on that side of town. I was like, oh. And so I was able to cancel and switch to a much better location for our hotel, which works out as it's only a mile from a 7 Brew. So that'll be good.
You said also by doing that, you guys closer. We wouldn't have to run as far now, drive as far, and we get a reduction in the cost too, right?
Well, we have to drive a little bit further. It's 10 minutes south.
Oh, yeah.
But
what's 10 minutes now?
Yeah, but it's actually closer to the restaurant. We're going to meet everybody for dinner that night.
That's good.
And so I think overall it'll be better. And it was cheaper.
That makes it even better too.
Yeah. And lower dog fees and... So for one night, I think we'll be fine.
We did learn too, though, last couple of road trips, that we used to take their beds with us, but they don't care. They just grab a towel or a pillow or even just the carpet itself and just sleep like there.
I know. Well, in fact, the last hotel that I changed to, I got the King Suite, and it has a living room area. So the king bed is actually in its own room.
Mm-hmm. That's still where they want to sleep, though.
But it has a living room area with a full couch.
Nice.
And so I was thinking, well, the dogs, I mean, they might get on that couch and be like, yeah, this is good enough.
And then also, back in the day, we used to try and stay at Airbnbs all the time, especially if we're going to be in an area an extended amount of time. But it's just gone outrageous recently, or not recently, last couple of years, actually. They're sometimes just as much or more expensive than a hotel, and they expect you to work on the place too while you're there.
I know.
At least with a hotel, I usually get food included, and then I get waited on too. You know, I get a maid service basically.
I know you don't have to clean up.
Yeah.
And
I mainly always wanted to pick that because I wanted to book one that had a washer and dryer in it. Yeah. But if we pack right, we don't have to worry about that.
Well, and they all
gotta do. It was too much. So we had to stop doing it. We didn't even care anymore.
Well, and the past couple times we've stayed at hotels, remember we got a room that was right across from the washer and dryer. Right. So it made it convenient if we needed to.
Yeah.
But also it just, to me, like when we first started using Airbnb,
it was awesome.
It was so cheap. Like it was like, okay, this is great because instead of, staying at Holiday Inn for $100 for the night, and just having a little room, I get like a whole house and it's only $65 and I get a backyard for the dogs and everything. So it was nice. But nowadays it's like, in case you go with like 5-6 other people, right, where you can divide it out, otherwise it's not less expensive. And some of them you have to really watch because they're like, oh, yeah, you got to strip the bed. You got to start the laundry. You got to do all the dishes. You got to clean the whole house. You got to take the trash out. And I'm like, why do I want to do that kind of work when I'm on vacation?
Right.
I don't want to do all that.
Or the ones that really bother me, too. They want to come meet you whenever you arrive.
Yeah. No, I don't like that.
Sit and visit for an hour or two or whatever.
No. And then what I also don't like is you have to now make sure you take plenty of pictures because they could come back and say,
oh, you did this, and this.
Yeah, so we're going to charge you an additional cleaning fee because you didn't clean up.
Right.
Because I had one do that. And they were like, the refrigerator was dirty. And I was like, it was dirty when we got there. There was stuff in there that was not ours.
The last tenant left their food.
Yeah, and left all kinds of other stuff. I'm like, I'm not cleaning up everybody else's, but they tried to charge me a fee. And I had to complain about it, but it's ridiculous. This way, at least, like at the IHG, we get points and we earn free rooms and
free
then
water on check-in.
Yeah, check-in. I like it. They'll either give us a choice of free bottled water or the points, extra points.
What I like about it too, so we always bring a cooler. We almost always visit the ice machine and fill up the cooler before we leave too.
Right, so you get free ice.
Yeah.
Any last questions or thoughts, please comment now. 22 Cat said, I'm not into the Super Bowl, but anyone who is, hope it's a great game for you.
Right.
Enjoy. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, enjoy your basketball game. Oh, football game.
Right.
But yeah, enjoy the game. I hope whoever team you like does win.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a big sports fan.
Yeah, thankfully, I got with someone who's not.
It's too real for me.
It's too real.
Well, that's what everybody says about my wrestling. It's too fake. Like, so I have to say it the other way then for your sports.
Wow.
Because I still am a huge wrestling nerd, so
yeah.
I just have to watch it when she's not around because she does not care.
No, I do not. And you get a lot of reels where it's them talking. I'm like, oh, boring.
All the interesting stuff, I know.
No, not. I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah. All right. Well, I see a couple more people have left, so let's just call it a night then, or a day. I guess it is
we
a
gotta
day.
clean all this up from lunch.
All this. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Friday.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a special Friday too, because you know what Friday is, don't you?
Valentine's.
Yay!
Oh,
I'm
good.
excited
Wow,
about it.
look, he actually finally put his hands on me. About time.